That's amazing. What stories did you hear from Uncle Bobby and Al Unser Sr. and about their racing days?
Oh man. Um, definitely racing back then was a lot different than it is now, for sure. I mean, the technology is different. Definitely the safety, around safety is different. Um, but both of them were very competitive in different ways, and they were brothers, right? So they were also very competitive against each other. Um, my uncle Bobby was also like, and he would always just say, because he would always get in trouble a lot too. I mean, all of us Unsers would always get in trouble. We didn't like the rules, you know. But my uncle Bobby would always say, "Do you know who I am?" Like, his country twang. It always made us kids laugh. But the story, I mean, there's not really a specific story that sticks in my mind right at the moment, but he loved Pikes Peak, and that also helped kind of shape them and prepare them for the Indianapolis 500. But it didn't matter, really what engine or whether it was a motorcycle or car. What was great about my family was that they made things happen. I think they did a lot for racing. They definitely helped drive the sport. But my uncle Bobby and my grandpa, like, they were competitive as all hell. Like, they just had fun. And it was all about fun, but also, them as mechanics, like, they also had fun just building cars, say that again.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Just wondering, did Bobby ever tell you about that time that he won his third Indy race only to have the results change the morning after and then changed again in October?
I mean, I heard that story, but not in full detail. But that's just like him, right? Like, that is definitely just like him.
Yeah. And did you ever figure out about Al winning his fourth 500 and what it was like with that?
I mean, just exhilarated for sure. But in my family, winning, they definitely wanted to keep going. It was never enough. Um,
That explains Bobby's book, Winners Are Driven.
yes, winners are driven, and like, that's definitely a lot like my family, and you know, I definitely feel like, that a lot in myself. Like, we're driven. Drivers are, especially with my family, we never quit. Even that checkered flag, like first place, like and especially my dad too. Like, for us, second place is losing.
Anything less than a win is losing. Yep.
Oh yeah. We, you know, no matter if it's, we win the championship or even winning the Indianapolis 500, give it to us again. It's not enough to win it the first time. I mean, it's just awesome that, I'm really proud to say that, my family's won it 9 times, the Indianapolis 500 9 times. And my cousin Lonnie Unser, she's racing now. And, I'm really excited to see her career kind of go up. And my younger brother, Joey, he's got 2 kids, so, we're not done. There's still more to do, right? There's still cars are going to keep going. Tracks are still there, more to be built. And I don't know if you saw my latest post on either Instagram or Facebook about Lonnie, but and it's my grandpa's no longer here, my uncle Bobby, but also the rest of my family, like my great uncle Louie. They're all in heaven. In my mind, they're all like sitting on clouds watching over us. Same thing with my mom, and my mom's side of the family, but the racers, like they're definitely watching over us, cheering us all on, whether we're racing or not. Because I feel like I'm on wheels, like I'm in my wheelchair and I'm doing my own thing, my own path. And I'm trying to win the race for people with disabilities. So, we're all winners, winning some kind of race. Never give up. But we're all not done. Whether, we're all Unsers, we're all driven for something. So, but they're definitely watching over us, and there's more wins to be had.
Yeah, that's amazing. And hopefully an Unser will go back to victory lane in Indianapolis sooner or later.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and it's, we can joke about it, because there's the, there's the Andretti's, the Ray Halls, but the Unsers are coming for them.
Yeah, for sure. I would say the Unsers came for the Andretti's a lot during Indianapolis with the heartbreak that the Andretti's have had.
Yeah.
It just seems like when you look at the results, it just seems like every time an Andretti almost won Indy, it seemed like every time they lost, it became an Unser that won.
Yeah, for sure.
Were you in victory lane when Al Jr. won his first 500?
I was. That was 1992.
What do you remember about that?
I mean, it was nuts. It was crazy. It was exhilarating. So I can't remember. So 94, that would have made me, I was little. Don't make me do the math. But so we would wait in the motorhome. So us kids, we would watch the race, on TV, but we would hear it because we would be in the infield. So we would also hear the excitement, the everybody outside the motorhome. And so, people who were on my dad's team, Pete Twitty, he was, super tall. So they would come get us kids to be, part of the excitement and the celebration. So when it was about close, when they kind of knew this was happening, that, my dad was going to win it, they would come get us kids and they would rush us running, they would have us in their arms, my sister Shannon, my brother Al, and myself, to take us over to Winner's Circle. And just like, you're hearing the fans in the crowd, and my mom and my dad, like, and everybody's sweating. And yeah, and the bright lights and, cameras flashing, and it was really exciting. It was, to be part of that celebration, what that meant to, my dad and my mom. But as a kid, you also don't really understand at that level of what you're just being a part of. It was crazy. It was nuts.
And were you there in 1994?
I was, yeah, for his second win. It was also really exciting. I was also sick because I had appendicitis. So I was in a lot of pain in my stomach, right? Nobody knew what was happening. But that was also, again, really exciting. The same sort of scenario, like they came and got us for the photos, driving around the track in the car. And that night, during the banquet, during the Indianapolis 500 banquet dinner, that's when I had to be rushed to the hospital. But like it was funny because like I was taken to the hospital in a limo with my mom and several others in their banquet gowns. So yeah, that I definitely remember because I had to have surgery that night, and it was the shortest. I think it's still the shortest speech that my dad gave in Indianapolis 500 history during the banquet.
Mm.
So yeah, I definitely remember 94 for sure, but they were all equally exciting, you know?